1. Off the wall. Fielding skills are developed in the most basic situations and activities that young kids participate in. Throwing a ball against a wall is something almost all people who play or played ball in their youth days have done. The proper fundamentals for fielding the ball off the wall may not be polished, but the repetition will help prospective youth baseball players develop hand-eye coordination. Players can catch the ball after one bounce, or they can throw high balls off the wall and catch the ball out of the air. Tennis balls work best for this drill. Participants can play games with themselves, such as determining how many balls they can catch in a row. 2. Wall ball. The simplicity of throwing a ball against a wall can be expanded to a competitive game with two players. Parents and coaches need to recognize that young kids love competition. In this wall ball game, two players alternate throwing off the wall for the other player to field. The first player to make an error loses. A game like this will help players with their hand-eye coordination, as well as with fielding short hops and hard ground balls in games. Wall ball can be played to a predetermined score. 3. Ready position. Coaches need to teach their youth fielders the correct ready position as the pitch is being delivered to home plate. This ready position is the foundation to sound fielding fundamentals. A player who's in the proper fielding position will have the best chance for recording an out. In the proper ready position, the fielder's feet should be a little more than shoulder length apart as he bends at the knees, not the waist. Players don't want to bend too low and become off balance. The player's hand should be in front of his body, between his knees, and relaxed, with the palms up or facing one another. Players can relax and get into the ready position on the wind-up. This is extremely important on the youth level because it's somewhat difficult for a young player to stay in one position for an extended period of time without becoming off balance. When in the ready position, the fielder should place his weight on the inside balls of his feet so he can push off and move in either direction. Make sure players do not rest their elbows or forearms on their thighs. 4. Catching a ground ball. When an infielder catches a ground ball, the foot on his glove side should be slightly in front of his other foot. Therefore, when an infielder goes from a ready position into this fielding position, a line can be drawn from the heel of the front foot to the toes of the back foot. When catching a ground ball, youth players should try to catch the ball in the center of their body. Reinforce to the player that their belly button should be facing the baseball. The ball should be caught in front of the player's body with the baseball glove out in front of the player, not underneath his body, which is done a lot on the youth level. A great coaching point is to look for the player's bill of his cap to be pointed down just before the fielder catches the baseball. If it is pointed down, the player is following the baseball into his glove. One of the biggest causes for errors on the youth level is that many young players will lift their heads early and not follow the ball into the glove. When catching the ball, the non-glove hand or throwing hand should be above the glove with the palm facing down. 5. Ground ball trio. 3 players line up next to one another in the infield. A coach rolls a ball to one of the players who fields the ball. All 3 players, however, transition from the ready position to the fielding position. This drill forces the players to anticipate the ball and be ready to field at all times. The players not fielding the ball should focus on technique only. This drill trains proper muscle memory so that in games, when a ball is hit to any of the infielders, they'll be conditioned into the proper technique. When fielding a ground ball, fielders should bring the ball up to their chest to protect from a bobble and for easy transition to the throwing hand. Coaches can call out whom they're going to roll the ball to, or they can make the throws random. 6. Bobble drill. It's extremely important in baseball, and especially youth baseball, for players not to give up on the ball if they bobble it. In this drill, coaches should actually tell the player to control the baseball, then bobble or drop it on purpose. This way, we are teaching recovery with the ability to still get the base runner out. Too many youth players will bobble a ground ball and give up on the play. If they stayed with it, they would have had a chance to make a successful play. We can even have the players bobble the baseball twice and teach them to still try to make the play. Again, this drill is great for teaching players not to give up on the ball. It also emphasizes to the players that they need not rush or panic. There is still plenty of time to recover and throw the runner out. If the players practice their recovery, then they'll be more confident fielders in games. They'll also learn how much time is needed for them to throw a runner out. They can then judge whether a throw would be futile for catching the runner. Fielders also don't want to rush a throw they don't need to make and take a chance on making an unnecessary throwing error. Sometimes it's better for them just to hold on to the ball. This drill will condition the fielders into making such decisions. 7. Lateral movement, forehand. When moving laterally in the infield, the youth player has the best chance to make the play by staying low to the ground. Many times, young players will stand up straight while moving to either the left side or the right side, which makes it hard to get down to the ball. The player from the ready position will take a crossover step, which can come after a small jab step. This is the quickest way to get to a baseball. The forehand play is a lateral play moving to the player's glove side. The player should make sure the glove is in front of his leg when he reaches the ball. He should also try to catch the baseball in front of his body. When he catches the ball, he brings the glove up to the non-glove hand in a cushioning manner, plants his foot, and makes the throw to first base, always trying to square his shoulders to the target. Players should make sure to set themselves when throwing. They don't want to throw off balance or off the back foot. This may result in a throwing error. 8. Lateral movement, backhand. The backhand play is a lateral movement away from the player's glove side. A small jab step followed by a large crossover step enhances the player's chance of getting on top of the baseball. The same fundamentals should be stressed for going to both one's backhand and forehand. Players should never rush their throw, especially when making a backhand play. Youth players should always set their feet, turn their shoulders to the target, and make a strong, accurate throw. When moving laterally, players should take a good angle to the ball, run straight to it. Players should never circle the ball or let the ball come to them. 9. Stay low. In this creative fielding drill, an assistant coach holds a rope tied to a fence. The players involved in the exercise will line up on one side of the rope in the ready fielding position. Another coach stands on the opposite side of the rope with a bucket of baseballs. On the go command, the coach tosses ground balls. The players, one at a time, have to move laterally under the rope to field the baseball. The goal is to field the ball cleanly without hitting the rope above them. This forces the players to stay low while moving toward the baseball, whether it's to their backhand or forehand. Coaches should try to reinforce to players that in addition to staying low, fielding the baseball in front of his body is also important. In this drill, if the player cannot catch the ball, it's just as beneficial to stop the ball and keep it in front of him. This can be achieved by staying low when fielding. Again, young players tend to reach for the ball when fielding. This drill forces players to move their legs and stay low, which is crucial for proper fielding mechanics. Make sure the coach holding the rope is wearing gloves. 10. Goalie drill. This is a fun competitive drill where fielders get to emulate a hockey goalie. Like a goalie in hockey, the objective for the fielders is to keep the ball in front of them. In this drill, a coach tries to throw tennis balls by the fielder, who stands in between two cones, acting as a goalie. The fielder doesn't have to catch the ball. All he has to do is prevent the ball from getting by him by blocking the ball with any part of the body. This reinforces the concept of still being able to make an out without having to catch the ball cleanly, as long as the ball is kept in front of the body. In this exercise, the player will receive a point for every successful blocked ball. Once a ball gets by the player in between the cones, the next participant goes. It is best to use tennis balls or soft-covered balls in this drill. Remember that young players love challenges and competition.
Ooh. Next.